Hi there, and thanks for joining me. Today, we'll be diving into Captain America: Brave New World, a 2025 superhero epic that gently nudges us to reflect on legacy, identity, and the shifting nature of heroism in a rapidly changing world, a story that encourages deeper thought and quiet discovery. I'm glad you're here, ready to explore the layers beneath the surface, where meaning and detail quietly reside. If you appreciate thoughtful exploration, please consider subscribing so we can keep uncovering these stories together. You can watch this film officially on Disney+. Let's begin this journey with curiosity and care. From the very first frame, the movie invites us into a world both familiar and startlingly new. It's a landscape where the echoes of past battles reverberate through the present, and the mantle of heroism passes into uncharted territory. This is not simply a continuation of a beloved saga, but a thoughtful interrogation of what it means to carry a legacy in a world that is more fragmented, more complex, and far less black and white than before. The story weaves together high-stakes action with introspective moments, asking us to consider how ideals evolve when confronted with the gritty realities of modern conflict. At its core, the narrative orbits around a new Captain America, a figure both inspired by and distinct from his predecessors. This character grapples with the weight of a symbol that has long stood for unity and justice, yet struggles to define his own place amid a world that questions old paradigms. The film's exploration of this tension between tradition and transformation is subtle and layered, conveyed not just through dialogue but through nuanced performances and striking visual storytelling. The plot unfolds against a backdrop of geopolitical tension and emergent technologies, as shadowy forces maneuver behind the scenes to reshape power on a global scale. Our protagonist, newly appointed and grappling with the legacy he inherits, finds himself entangled in a web of conspiracies that challenge his sense of morality and trust. Alongside allies old and new, he navigates betrayals, shifting loyalties, and a threat that blurs the lines between friend and foe. One of the most compelling aspects of the story is its nuanced portrayal of heroism itself. The film moves beyond the binary of good versus evil to depict a world where ethical clarity is elusive and choices carry heavy consequences. It explores how the mantle of heroism can be both empowering and burdensome, how ideals must adapt without losing their essence, and how identity is forged in the crucible of crisis and change. This thematic richness is woven seamlessly into the action, ensuring that spectacle serves story rather than overshadowing it. The movie's visual and narrative design complements its themes. Scenes pulse with kinetic energy, the clang of shield on shield, the blur of high-speed chases, the intimate moments where characters confront their fears and hopes. The cinematography plays with light and shadow to emphasize the dualities that run through the story: past and present, certainty and doubt, strength and vulnerability. The soundtrack underscores these emotional beats, blending sweeping orchestration with moments of quiet reflection. Throughout the film, several key plot elements and twists keep the audience engaged and guessing. A mysterious new antagonist emerges, whose motivations are shrouded in ambiguity, forcing the protagonist to question alliances and confront uncomfortable truths. The return of a familiar face from earlier chapters adds emotional weight and narrative complexity, challenging the new Captain America to reckon with legacy in ways he had not anticipated. And a revelation midway through the story reshapes our understanding of the conflict, raising the stakes and deepening the moral dilemmas faced by all involved. Beyond the thrilling set pieces and compelling character work, the film invites us to ponder larger questions about society and the role of symbols in times of upheaval. It holds a mirror to contemporary anxieties: the erosion of trust, the rise of division, the search for meaning in chaotic times, without losing sight of hope and resilience. This balance of gravitas and optimism, of tension and release, is what gives the movie its lasting resonance. In sum, the film is both a worthy continuation and a thoughtful evolution of its lineage. It honors the past while daring to chart new paths, weaving a story that is as emotionally engaging as it is intellectually stimulating. For fans and newcomers alike, it offers a cinematic experience that is rich with action, heart, and ideas, inviting us to reflect on what it truly means to be a hero in a brave new world. The film opens with a world still feeling the reverberations of past upheavals, a landscape both familiar and altered by time, where old alliances have shifted and new threats simmer beneath the surface. Our protagonist steps into the spotlight not merely as a successor to a legendary mantle, but as a young man burdened by the weight of expectations and the uncertainty of his own identity. The opening scenes skillfully balance the grandeur of superhero spectacle with intimate moments that reveal the personal struggles underpinning his journey. We first meet him as he grapples with the shadows cast by his predecessor, wrestling with public perception and private doubt. This initial portrayal is crucial. Rather than presenting an invincible icon, the film humanizes him, showing a man striving to live up to a symbol while forging his own path. The filmmakers take their time here, using quieter, more reflective scenes to deepen our understanding of his motivations, fears, and the complex legacy he inherits. A significant early event sets the tone for the challenges ahead. A covert operation to intercept a rising threat goes awry, exposing cracks in the fragile global peace and revealing a clandestine network intent on manipulating geopolitical currents. This incident is a narrative catalyst, thrusting the protagonist into a high-stakes game of espionage and combat. The mission's failure is not only tactical but symbolic, a stark reminder that the world has evolved and that yesterday's methods may no longer suffice amid this turbulence. The film introduces a diverse ensemble of allies, each bringing unique skills, perspectives, and histories to the unfolding conflict. The new team dynamic contrasts with the solitary figure of the past, emphasizing themes of collaboration and the complexities of leadership in a multifaceted world. Interpersonal tensions and differing philosophies enrich the narrative texture, creating opportunities for both conflict and growth. Scenes depicting training, strategy discussions, and personal interactions provide depth and relatability, grounding the larger-than-life action in genuine human connection. One of the early plot threads involves a mysterious artifact linked to the previous Captain America, whose origins and powers become central to the unfolding mystery. This object is both a symbol and a literal key, connecting past and present, fueling ambition, and attracting dangerous attention. Its introduction raises questions about the nature of power and the responsibilities that come with it, echoing the film's thematic preoccupations. The antagonist emerges gradually, their presence felt through shadowy figures, coded messages, and strategic strikes that unsettle the protagonist and his allies. This villain is not a caricature of evil but a layered figure whose motivations and methods challenge the hero's worldview. The tension between them is intellectual as well as physical, a chess match played across battlefields and boardrooms. Early encounters underscore the stakes and set the tone for a conflict that is as psychological as it is visceral. Throughout this segment, the film balances escalating action sequences with moments of introspection. High-energy confrontations, whether hand-to-hand combat, tactical operations, or explosive set-pieces, are interspersed with scenes that probe character backstories and ethical dilemmas. These quieter moments invite the audience to engage with the protagonist's internal conflicts. His struggle to reconcile duty with personal values, legacy with innovation, and strength with vulnerability. A key development unfolds when the protagonist uncovers betrayal within his ranks, a revelation that fractures trust and complicates alliances. This plot twist heightens suspense and underscores themes of loyalty and deception. It also forces the hero to confront difficult truths about the cost of leadership and the ambiguities of justice. The narrative uses this betrayal not only to propel the plot but to deepen character arcs and thematic resonance. Parallel to the central conflict, subplots enrich the story's texture. Relationships blossom and strain under pressure, revealing the emotional toll of the hero's burden. Mentors and veterans offer guidance and caution, while new recruits bring fresh energy and challenge established norms. These interpersonal dynamics create a tapestry of connection and conflict, grounding the epic narrative in personal stakes. The film's pacing during this portion is deliberate, allowing tension to build through layered storytelling and complex character interactions. Visual motifs, such as recurring shots of the protagonist's shield, symbolic of both protection and burden, anchor the narrative, reminding viewers of the dual nature of heroism. The cinematography captures both the vastness of the global stage and the intimacy of private moments, reinforcing the film's thematic balance. As the first major act concludes, the protagonist faces a moment of reckoning. A critical mission tests his resolve and strategic acumen, culminating in a confrontation that pushes him to the limits of his physical and moral capacities. This climax is both exhilarating and emotionally charged, a turning point that propels the story into its next phase while deepening the hero's evolution. In these opening chapters, the film establishes itself as a thoughtful and thrilling addition to the saga. It respects the legacy of what came before while charting new territory, offering a hero who is both emblematic and deeply human. The first half's blend of action, character development, and thematic inquiry lays a rich foundation, promising a narrative that will challenge, inspire, and resonate as it unfolds. The dawn of this new chapter unfolds against a world still catching its breath from the echoes of past conflicts, yet now a world transformed, where the familiar boundaries of trust and allegiance blur into shades of uncertainty. Our story begins not with a triumphant return but with quiet contemplation, as the new Captain America grapples with the monumental legacy he has inherited. Unlike his predecessors, he faces a society fractured not only by external threats but by internal division and an erosion of shared ideals. His challenge is not only to wield a shield but to navigate the complex, often contradictory expectations placed upon him. The film's opening sequences masterfully balance grandeur with intimacy. We see our protagonist in moments of solitude, weighed down by the symbolic burden of the shield and what it represents, a beacon of hope, justice, and unity. Yet these ideals seem elusive in a world rife with mistrust and ambiguity. Scenes unfold in muted tones, the cinematography evoking a sense of isolation even amidst bustling cityscapes, suggesting the loneliness of leadership in turbulent times. Here, the film signals its intent to explore heroism not as a static ideal but as a living, evolving concept subject to the complexities of reality. Early on, a covert mission introduces the looming threat, a shadowy cabal manipulating global events with surgical precision. The operation, intended to prevent a destabilizing act, spirals into chaos, revealing fractures within the alliances that underpin international security. This failure is pivotal, not merely for its tactical consequences but for its thematic weight. It exposes the fragility of trust and the perilous nature of a world where information is weaponized and loyalties are fluid. The protagonist, newly at the helm, is thrust into a maelstrom of intrigue that tests his resolve and his capacity to inspire confidence amid this turbulence. The film introduces a diverse ensemble of allies, each bringing distinct backgrounds, skills, and perspectives that reflect the multifaceted nature of modern heroism. The team's dynamics underscore themes of collaboration and conflict, illustrating how unity is both necessary and fraught. The interpersonal tensions, whether born of differing philosophies or personal histories, add rich texture to the narrative, grounding the sweeping geopolitical stakes in human relationships. Training montages and strategic briefings are interspersed with moments of levity and vulnerability, painting a portrait of camaraderie and the high costs it entails. The narrative complexity deepens with the introduction of a mysterious artifact linked to the previous Captain America's legacy. This object is shrouded in myth and power, serving as both a tangible connection to the past and a source of new peril. Its discovery triggers a race to control not just a weapon but the symbolism it carries, the hope and fear embedded in the shield's image. This thread weaves through the plot as a metaphor for the tension between heritage and innovation, between honoring tradition and forging new paths. The antagonist's shadow grows steadily, an elusive figure whose motives challenge the protagonist's understanding of justice and morality. Their presence is felt through calculated strikes and cryptic communications that unsettle the hero and his allies. This villain's complexity defies simple categorization. They are as much a product of the world's fractures as the hero is, embodying the ambiguity that pervades the narrative. Their confrontations are as intellectual as they are physical, crafting a psychological duel that drives much of the story's tension. Within this unfolding drama, the film excels at juxtaposing high-octane action with quiet moments of reflection. Explosive battles and tactical maneuvers alternate with intimate scenes that probe the protagonist's inner conflicts, his doubts, his hopes, and the burden of embodying a symbol that carries so much weight. These moments provide emotional depth and invite viewers to engage with the character on a personal level, transforming him from an icon into a relatable figure navigating a complex world. A significant narrative twist emerges as the protagonist uncovers betrayal within his ranks, shattering the fragile trust that held the team together. This revelation intensifies the stakes and propels the story into darker territory, forcing characters to confront painful truths about loyalty and deception. The fallout from this betrayal reverberates through relationships, strategy, and the very fabric of the mission, highlighting the theme that heroism is as much about navigating moral ambiguity as it is about physical courage. Subplots enrich the narrative, exploring themes of legacy, identity, and sacrifice. Mentors from previous chapters offer guidance and caution, their presence a reminder of the enduring influence of history even as the new generation charts its course. New recruits challenge established norms, injecting fresh perspectives and questions about what it means to be a hero today. Romantic and familial relationships provide emotional stakes that ground the high-concept plot in human experience, illustrating the costs and complexities of living a life defined by duty. Visually, the film's style reinforces its thematic concerns. The cinematography captures the sprawling urban environments and claustrophobic interiors with equal care, using light and shadow to evoke mood and underline narrative tension. Symbolic motifs, such as recurring images of the shield, fractured reflections, and shifting landscapes, anchor the story visually and thematically, reminding viewers of the persistent interplay between past and present, hope and disillusionment. As the first major act draws to a close, the protagonist faces a decisive challenge, a mission that will test his skills, judgment, and resolve. This sequence combines breathtaking action with emotional intensity, forcing him to confront not only external enemies but internal doubts. The climax serves as both a narrative turning point and a moment of character crystallization, setting the stage for the deeper explorations and conflicts to come. Throughout these early chapters, the film strikes a careful balance between honoring its storied legacy and embracing new directions. It presents a hero who is emblematic yet deeply human, navigating a world where clear answers are scarce and every choice carries consequence. The narrative weaves complexity and accessibility, action and introspection, crafting an immersive experience that engages heart and mind. In sum, the film's first half lays a rich foundation, a tapestry of intrigue, character, and theme that invites audiences into a story both thrilling and thoughtful. It challenges us to reconsider what it means to be a hero in a brave new world, where the past informs but does not dictate the future, and where courage takes many forms. This beginning promises a journey that will be as emotionally resonant as it is exhilarating, drawing us deeper into the evolving saga of Captain America. The story deepens, weaving a complex tapestry of challenges, revelations, and shifting allegiances that pull the characters, and us, into a labyrinth where every decision feels heavy with consequence. As the narrative unfolds, the stakes escalate with a relentless intensity, propelling our hero into a crucible that tests not only his strength and resolve but the very essence of his identity and ideals. The second part of the journey is as much about internal reckoning as it is about external conflict, exploring the fragile balance between legacy and innovation, trust and betrayal, power and responsibility. Following the harrowing events that fractured trust within his team, our protagonist finds himself navigating a landscape rife with uncertainty. The betrayal uncovered earlier becomes a fulcrum around which the story pivots, its ramifications rippling through alliances and strategies. The tension within the group is palpable, with suspicion simmering beneath attempts at unity. Yet it is precisely this fragility that underscores the film's exploration of leadership, not as an absolute command but as a negotiation fraught with complexity and moral ambiguity. One of the most compelling developments is the protagonist's evolving relationship with a key ally, whose motivations and loyalties come under scrutiny. This relationship serves as both a source of strength and tension, embodying the film's themes of trust and vulnerability. Their interactions reveal the human cost of heroism, the sacrifices, the doubts, the moments of connection that sustain in the face of overwhelming odds. The narrative invests these moments with emotional weight, allowing the characters' vulnerabilities to shine amidst the turmoil. As the external threat intensifies, the antagonist's plan unfolds with chilling precision. The film reveals layers to this villain that complicate the binary of good versus evil. Their motivations are rooted not merely in power for power's sake but in a deeply personal vision for a reshaped world order, one that challenges the very ideals the protagonist embodies. This ideological conflict adds richness to the narrative, inviting reflection on the nature of change and the costs it entails. The villain's charisma and conviction make them a formidable adversary, forcing the hero to confront uncomfortable questions about justice and the limits of his own beliefs. Midway through this segment, a critical revelation reframes the conflict. The mysterious artifact, initially a symbol of legacy and hope, is unveiled to harbor secrets that challenge the protagonist's understanding of his mission. This plot twist deepens the narrative complexity, blurring lines between ally and enemy, right and wrong. The film uses this moment to heighten suspense and provoke moral reflection, as characters grapple with truths that unsettle their convictions and threaten their unity. The action sequences escalate accordingly, blending breathtaking spectacle with strategic nuance. Battles are not mere displays of strength but contests of intellect and will, underscoring the film's emphasis on the cerebral dimensions of heroism. The choreography balances kinetic energy with moments of stillness that highlight character emotions and stakes. Visual effects and cinematography amplify the tension, immersing the audience in chaos tempered by moments of clarity and hope. Parallel to the external battles is the protagonist's internal odyssey. He wrestles with the weight of expectation and the need to define his own path. Flashbacks and reflective moments provide insight into his struggles, revealing how the legacy he carries shapes and sometimes constrains him. This psychological depth enriches the narrative, allowing viewers to engage with the hero not only as a symbol but as a person navigating doubt, fear, and resolve. The film's supporting characters continue to evolve, each confronting their own challenges and transformations. Their arcs intersect with the central plot, adding layers of emotional complexity and thematic resonance. Friendships are tested, loyalties questioned, and sacrifices made, illustrating the multifaceted nature of courage and commitment. These narratives underscore the film's message that heroism is collective as well as individual, a mosaic of intertwined lives and choices. A turning point arrives with a daring infiltration mission into the antagonist's stronghold, a sequence marked by tension, ingenuity, and emotional stakes. The mission tests the team's cohesion and the protagonist's leadership, culminating in a confrontation that blends physical combat with ideological challenge. This moment serves as both climax and crucible, forcing characters to reckon with their limits and the costs of their cause. The climax itself is a masterful convergence of narrative threads. The protagonist faces the antagonist in a confrontation that is as much about ideals as about strength. The dialogue crackles with philosophical weight, each character embodying contrasting visions of the future. The battle is choreographed to reflect this duality, weaving moments of brutal action with pauses that allow emotional and thematic currents to surface. This encounter crystallizes the film's central questions about power, legacy, and the possibility of change. Resolution unfolds with a blend of closure and openness. The immediate threat is neutralized, but the film resists neat conclusions, instead embracing the complexities and uncertainties that accompany real transformation. Characters emerge altered, wiser, scarred, and more self-aware, while the world they inhabit remains in flux, a reflection of the ongoing nature of the struggles portrayed. The final scenes evoke both melancholy and hope, underscoring the endurance of ideals amid imperfection. The film closes by returning to its thematic roots, reminding viewers that heroism is not a destination but a journey, one marked by choices, compromises, and the courage to face an uncertain future. The protagonist's evolution embodies this truth, representing both continuity and change, tradition and innovation. His story invites us to consider what it means to carry a legacy forward in a world where old certainties no longer hold. In this latter part of the film, the seamless blending of action, character, and theme reaches its fullest expression. The narrative's complexity invites repeated viewing and reflection, rewarding attention to detail and engagement with its moral and emotional dilemmas. Cinematic techniques, lighting, sound, editing, heighten the impact, creating an immersive experience that resonates on multiple levels. Ultimately, the film's second act delivers a powerful meditation on identity, responsibility, and the nature of courage. It challenges us to embrace ambiguity and complexity, to recognize the costs and possibilities of heroism in a brave new world. Through its richly layered storytelling and compelling characters, it leaves an indelible impression, a call to reckon with our own roles in shaping the future. The heart of this film beats strongest through its characters, each crafted with layers of nuance and complexity that elevate the narrative beyond a simple tale of heroism and conflict. Rather than presenting archetypes or flat symbols, the film invites us into the inner worlds of its central figures, exploring their fears, hopes, contradictions, and growth with a remarkable depth that anchors the story emotionally and thematically. To delve into these characters is to uncover the film's true power, a meditation on identity, legacy, and the human capacity for transformation amid uncertainty. At the center stands the new Captain America, a figure defined by both the legacy he inherits and the challenges of carving out his own path. Unlike his predecessors, who were often portrayed as paragons of unwavering virtue, this iteration is marked by introspection and vulnerability. His journey is not one of seamless heroism but of grappling with doubt, responsibility, and the tension between public expectation and private selfhood. Early scenes depict him wrestling with the symbolic weight of the shield, a tangible reminder of ideals that feel simultaneously inspiring and burdensome. His characterization is subtle and multifaceted. The film explores how he balances strength and empathy, courage and caution, tradition and innovation. His leadership style evolves through the narrative, from tentative, cautious beginnings to a more assured, nuanced approach that embraces complexity rather than seeking simplistic answers. This evolution is conveyed not just through dialogue but through quiet moments of reflection, interactions with allies, and pivotal decisions that reveal his moral compass and personal growth. One of the most compelling aspects of his portrayal is the way the film navigates his relationship to legacy. He is acutely aware of the shadows cast by those who came before him, and this awareness shapes both his insecurities and his determination. Rather than attempting to imitate past heroes, he strives to define heroism on his own terms, wrestling with the tension between honoring tradition and responding to the demands of a changing world. This internal conflict is a central thread, making his character resonate as deeply human and profoundly relevant. The antagonist offers a fascinating counterpoint, complex, charismatic, and ideologically driven. Far from a mere villain, this character embodies a vision that challenges the protagonist's worldview, forcing him to confront uncomfortable truths about power, justice, and societal change. The antagonist's motivations are layered and, at times, sympathetic. They see themselves not as destroyers but as architects of a new order, willing to dismantle the old to build something they believe better. This ideological conviction lends their character a gravitas that transcends typical villainy, creating a moral dialogue that permeates their confrontations. The dynamic between hero and antagonist is one of the film's richest veins, a psychological and philosophical duel that elevates the narrative. Their exchanges are charged not only with conflict but with mutual recognition, a complex interplay of respect, challenge, and opposition. This relationship pushes the protagonist to question his assumptions and values, deepening his character arc and engaging viewers in broader reflections on the nature of change and resistance. Supporting characters enrich the story with diverse perspectives and emotional depth. The protagonist's key allies each embody different facets of heroism and human complexity. Some are veterans, carrying the weight of experience and the scars of past battles. Others are newcomers, bringing fresh energy, idealism, and sometimes naivety. Their interactions explore themes of trust, mentorship, and the tensions that arise within a team united by cause but divided by personality and perspective. One ally stands out for their personal connection to the protagonist, providing both emotional grounding and narrative complexity. Their relationship is layered with unspoken histories, mutual respect, and moments of conflict and tenderness. Through their interactions, the film examines themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and the cost of living up to shared ideals. This relationship humanizes the high-stakes narrative, reminding us that beneath the heroic veneer lie real people grappling with fear, hope, and love. Another key figure introduces a critical perspective on the changing nature of power and technology in this new era. Their skepticism and pragmatism challenge the protagonist's sometimes idealistic approach, sparking debates that enrich the film's thematic texture. This character embodies the tension between tradition and innovation, reflecting the broader societal shifts that underpin the story. Their arc reveals the complexities of adaptation and the price of progress. The film also invests time in exploring the emotional lives of its characters beyond the battlefield. Moments of vulnerability, whether quiet conversations, moments of solitude, or glimpses into personal rituals, reveal the humanity behind the armor. These scenes build empathy and nuance, portraying heroism as inseparable from imperfection and emotional complexity. The film's willingness to dwell on these quieter moments distinguishes it within its genre, offering a more rounded and resonant portrayal. The casting and performances further deepen the characterizations. The lead actor brings a layered intensity to the role, balancing charisma with introspection, strength with sensitivity. Their nuanced portrayal invites viewers to see the character as a living, breathing individual rather than a mythic figure. Supporting actors contribute equally compelling performances, inhabiting their roles with authenticity and emotional truth that enrich the ensemble dynamic. Character interactions are crafted with care, using dialogue, body language, and spatial relationships to convey unspoken tensions and bonds. The film's direction encourages subtlety, allowing silences and glances to speak volumes. This approach fosters a cinematic language that is rich in subtext, inviting viewers to engage actively in interpreting the emotional currents beneath the surface. The film's narrative structure supports character development by intertwining past and present, memory and action. Flashbacks and reflective sequences provide context and depth, revealing formative experiences that shape motivations and fears. These glimpses into history enrich our understanding and create emotional resonance, linking individual journeys to the broader legacy that the story inhabits. Themes of legacy and transformation are embodied most vividly in the protagonist's arc, but they ripple through the supporting characters as well. Each is faced with choices that test their values and compel growth, reflecting the film's overarching meditation on change, personal, cultural, and political. The interplay of these arcs creates a mosaic of human experience that grounds the epic narrative in relatable emotion. In conclusion, the film's characters are the beating heart of its story, transforming a tale of global conflict into a nuanced exploration of identity, power, and humanity. Through richly drawn portrayals and complex relationships, The film invites viewers into a world where heroism is not a static ideal but a dynamic, often difficult journey. These characters linger in the mind and heart, embodying the film's deepest themes and elevating its narrative into a resonant, unforgettable experience. The making of Captain America, Brave New World was as remarkable behind the scenes as the film itself is on the screen. While audiences were captivated by its epic scope and emotional depth, the production journey teemed with moments of unexpected challenges, creative innovations, and quirky anecdotes that enriched the experience for cast and crew alike. These strange and fascinating facts reveal how the alchemy of filmmaking often depends on serendipity as much as on meticulous planning, and how sometimes the most unusual occurrences become integral to the film's identity. From the outset, the production was ambitious, aiming to balance blockbuster spectacle with thoughtful storytelling. But ambition met reality in surprising ways. One of the earliest challenges was the choice of shooting locations. The production team scouted dozens of cities worldwide before settling on a combination of urban landscapes that could convincingly stand in for a near-future America grappling with social and political upheaval. The film's signature cityscape, however, was not a single location but a composite of several places across Europe and North America, digitally blended to create a unique, sprawling metropolis. This blend caused unexpected logistical hurdles, coordinating permits, adapting to diverse local regulations, and managing the complex scheduling of multiple crews working across continents. One particularly strange occurrence involved the filming of a pivotal chase scene set on a busy urban bridge. The bridge was scheduled for partial closure, but on the day of shooting, an unplanned protest erupted nearby, drawing hundreds of demonstrators. Instead of halting production, the director decided to incorporate the real protesters into the scene, turning potential disruption into authentic atmosphere. The resulting footage has an energy and realism that could not have been staged, capturing the pulse of public unrest that underscores the film's themes. This spontaneous choice required rapid coordination with city officials and a nimble camera crew able to navigate the evolving crowd, but the gamble paid off spectacularly. The lead actor's preparation for the role included intense physical training, but also some unexpected quirks. In interviews, he revealed a ritual he adopted early on, wearing the Captain America suit for several hours a day during rehearsals, not just to get accustomed to the physical demands, but as a psychological tool to inhabit the character. This commitment extended to sleepwear. For weeks, he reportedly wore a specially tailored costume-themed pajama set. While this may seem eccentric, it illustrates the depth of immersion the actor sought, blending method with playful dedication. Costume design for the film was a feat of technical artistry, incorporating advanced materials to achieve a balance of authenticity, flexibility, and futuristic flair. But the process was peppered with unusual challenges. The shield, iconic and central to the character's identity, underwent several iterations. One prototype, constructed from a composite of metals and plastics, was so perfectly balanced that during testing it bounced unpredictably when thrown, causing minor accidents on set. Crew members recall an incident where the shield ricocheted off a wall and narrowly missed the director. Safety measures were promptly intensified, and the final shield was redesigned to retain visual impact while ensuring control and safety. Another odd but charming behind-the-scenes story revolves around a supporting character's costume, which featured intricate LED lighting integrated into its design. While visually stunning on camera, the suit's electrical components caused several technical hiccups, including unexpected overheating during long takes. On one occasion, the actor's suit emitted a faint but persistent buzzing noise that confused nearby crew until the source was traced. The production team improvised cooling systems and soundproofing, turning the challenge into an opportunity to enhance the suit's futuristic vibe. Unusual weather played a curious role as well. Several outdoor scenes were scheduled during what the team expected to be dry conditions, but nature had its own plans. Sudden downpours forced delays but also inspired creative solutions. One memorable scene involving a nighttime rooftop confrontation was res-hot with rain deliberately included, the wet surfaces and glistening city lights adding a moody, atmospheric layer that heightened tension. This decision required recalibrating lighting and sound but ultimately became one of the film's most visually striking sequences. The sound design team incorporated some unexpected sources to enrich the film's auditory landscape. To capture the unique hum and pulse of futuristic cityscapes, they blended synthesized sounds with recordings of vintage machinery, animal calls, and even urban wildlife like pigeons and distant trains. This fusion created a soundscape that felt both familiar and unsettlingly new, mirroring the film's thematic tension between past legacies and emerging futures. One of the most surprising facts concerns the film's use of practical effects in an era dominated by CGI. Despite extensive digital work, the production prioritized physical sets and effects wherever possible to ground the narrative in tangible reality. For example, a complex car chase involved custom-built vehicles equipped with advanced rigs for realistic stunt driving. On set, a daring stunt driver performed a high-speed sequence through narrow alleyways, a move that was so precise and dangerous it took multiple takes to perfect, once nearly clipping a cameraman who had to leap out of the way. These real-world risks lent an authenticity and kinetic energy to the scene that resonated powerfully on screen. The editing process brought its own unusual stories. The film's nonlinear narrative structure required painstaking work to weave together multiple timelines and perspectives coherently. Early edits ran far longer than expected, and in the search for pacing and clarity, editors experimented with unconventional cuts and transitions. One creative flourish involved using visual motifs, such as the recurring image of the shield, to bridge scenes and signify thematic shifts. This technique was initially met with skepticism but proved to be a masterstroke in unifying the narrative's emotional through line. The film's score and soundtrack also have intriguing backstories. The composer, known for blending orchestral and electronic elements, drew inspiration from diverse sources including classical symphonies, vintage jazz, and contemporary pop. To create the haunting leitmotifs associated with the antagonist, the composer used unusual instruments like the theremin and waterphone, generating eerie, otherworldly sounds that enhanced the character's mystique. Recording sessions sometimes involved experiments with unconventional spaces. For example, some segments were recorded in an old cathedral to capture natural reverberation and amplify the music's emotional depth. Casting included some serendipitous moments as well. A supporting actor, initially brought in for a minor role, impressed the director so much with their improvisational skill and chemistry with the lead that their part was expanded significantly during filming. This organic development enriched the story and provided fresh avenues for character interaction. Behind the scenes, the cast developed a tight-knit camaraderie, often sharing meals and engaging in playful banter that lightened the intense production atmosphere. The use of technology on set featured some unusual innovations. To capture the protagonist's perspective during high-speed sequences, the crew employed miniature cameras mounted on drones and even on the actor's costume, providing dynamic and immersive shots. One of these devices malfunctioned mid-shoot, sending a camera careening into a carefully constructed set piece. The accident, while causing some delays, inspired creative reshoots that incorporated the unexpected chaos into the narrative fabric, adding a spontaneous realism. Marketing the film involved creative strategies that leaned into its themes of legacy and transformation. A viral campaign featured cryptic messages and symbolic imagery distributed through augmented reality experiences, inviting fans to decode clues about the plot and characters. This immersive approach sparked widespread engagement, generating buzz that complemented the film's layered storytelling. Trivia enthusiasts might be intrigued to learn about several Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the film, referencing earlier chapters in the franchise and the broader Marvel Cinematic Universe. Some of these nods are subtle, a fleeting emblem on a uniform, a whispered line in passing dialogue, rewarding attentive viewers and connecting this new chapter to a rich narrative tradition. In sum, the production of this film was a vibrant mosaic of planned artistry and unpredictable moments. Its strangest facts and behind-the-scenes tales reveal a filmmaking process alive with invention, risk, and joy. These stories illuminate how cinema is crafted not just through scripts and effects but through human ingenuity, adaptability, and the magic that happens when preparation meets the unexpected. Understanding this hidden world enriches our appreciation of the film, transforming viewing into a richer, more connected experience. The film unfolds not merely as a spectacle of heroic feats and explosive conflicts but as a layered narrative deeply embedded in contemporary cultural currents, inviting a wealth of critical perspectives that illuminate its thematic depth and emotional impact. Each major event is crafted with intentionality, serving as a node where storytelling, symbolism, and ideological discourse intersect, shaping how audiences engage with the film both intellectually and viscerally. To analyze these significant moments through a critical lens is to uncover the film's dialogue with history, society, and the evolving notion of heroism in a complex world. The opening sequence sets the tone with a carefully orchestrated balance between nostalgia and innovation. It is a homage to the legacy of the Captain America mythos, yet it subtly signals a departure from familiar tropes. Critics have noted how this choice reflects broader societal shifts, where reverence for past ideals coexists uneasily with the urgent need for new narratives that speak to contemporary anxieties. The film's nuanced approach to legacy invites viewers to question the meaning of heroism when traditional symbols are recontextualized in a fractured socio-political landscape. Early plot developments, particularly the failed covert operation, serve as a critical commentary on the erosion of trust and the fragility of global alliances. This event is not just a narrative catalyst but a thematic fulcrum that exposes the complexities of modern geopolitics. Scholars have interpreted this as a reflection of real-world tensions, where transparency is scarce and information warfare undermines cooperation. The film's depiction of this failure resonates with audiences attuned to current events, adding a layer of realism that grounds its superhero narrative in tangible concerns. The film's portrayal of team dynamics offers fertile ground for critical analysis, particularly in its interrogation of leadership and collaboration. The protagonist's struggle to unify a diverse and sometimes divided group mirrors broader cultural dialogues about inclusion, diversity, and the challenges of collective action. Critics have praised how interpersonal conflicts and philosophical differences within the team are portrayed with complexity, avoiding reductive characterizations. This emphasis on negotiation and compromise aligns with contemporary theories of leadership that prioritize adaptability and empathy over authoritarian command. One of the film's most discussed events is the discovery of the mysterious artifact linked to the previous Captain America. Beyond its plot function, this object operates symbolically, embodying tensions between tradition and transformation. Academics have drawn parallels to the cultural process of myth-making and the ways symbols evolve to accommodate new contexts. The artifact's ambiguous powers and origins invite interpretations related to contested histories and the negotiation of collective memory, a theme that reverberates deeply in a society grappling with its past and future identities. The antagonist's introduction and unfolding plan have sparked critical debates about villainy, ideology, and the representation of the other. Unlike conventional antagonists driven by simple greed or malice, this character embodies a complex ideological vision that challenges the protagonist's values. Critics have lauded this portrayal for its refusal to simplify moral opposition, instead presenting a figure whose motivations prompt reflection on systemic injustice, revolution, and the costs of change. This nuanced villainy encourages viewers to engage with uncomfortable questions about the nature of power and resistance. Midway through the film, the revelation that the artifact harbors secrets which complicate the protagonist's mission marks a significant narrative and thematic turning point. From a critical standpoint, this plot twist can be read as an allegory for the destabilizing effects of uncovering inconvenient truths, whether personal, political, or historical. It invites discourse on epistemology and the ethics of knowledge, questioning who controls narratives and how hidden information reshapes power dynamics. The film thus engages with postmodern concerns about truth, authority, and the fragmentation of grand narratives. The subsequent escalation of action sequences is often analyzed in terms of their choreography and symbolic resonance. Rather than serving merely as entertainment, these battles function as metaphors for ideological clashes and internal struggles. The juxtaposition of kinetic violence with moments of stillness and introspection has been praised for its rhythm and emotional layering. Film theorists have noted how the spatial dynamics of these scenes, confined spaces, open arenas, and shadowed corridors, reflect thematic tensions between freedom and constraint, visibility and concealment. A critical event involving betrayal within the team has been interpreted as a commentary on the precariousness of trust in contemporary social and political contexts. This rupture exposes vulnerabilities and forces characters to reassess alliances and principles. Analysts highlight how the film uses this moment to explore themes of loyalty, deception, and the fragility of community. The emotional fallout resonates with audiences navigating similar complexities in real-world relationships and institutions. The protagonist's personal and ideological evolution throughout these events has drawn significant critical attention. His trajectory from tentative successor to confident leader embodies the film's meditation on identity formation amid inherited burdens. Scholars have explored how his character negotiates the tension between authenticity and representation, embodying both continuity with and departure from the Captain America archetype. This duality invites reflection on the construction of public figures and the role of symbolism in shaping collective consciousness. Supporting characters contribute to this rich thematic fabric, each offering perspectives that complicate and enrich the central narrative. Their individual arcs have been examined as explorations of marginalized voices, ethical dilemmas, and the costs of heroism. Critics appreciate the film's commitment to developing these figures beyond mere sidekicks or foils, presenting them as fully realized agents with their own stakes and complexities. The climactic infiltration mission and subsequent confrontation have been analyzed for their interplay of spectacle and substance. The careful staging of action with moments of philosophical dialogue underscores the film's ambition to merge blockbuster appeal with intellectual depth. This balance has been celebrated as a model for contemporary superhero cinema, demonstrating how genre films can engage critically with pressing social and ethical issues. The resolution, which eschews simplistic closure in favor of openness and ambiguity, invites ongoing discourse. By leaving certain questions unanswered and embracing complexity, the film aligns with a postmodern sensibility that recognizes the provisional nature of understanding and the multiplicity of perspectives. This ending has sparked vibrant discussions among critics and audiences alike, highlighting the film's capacity to provoke thought and emotional engagement beyond its running time. Throughout its narrative arc, the film resonates with themes of legacy, transformation, and the contested nature of heroism. Critical perspectives underscore how these themes intersect with contemporary cultural debates about identity, power, and social change. The film's willingness to embrace ambiguity and moral complexity positions it as a significant cultural text, reflecting and shaping ongoing conversations about what it means to lead, to fight, and to hope in a turbulent world. In conclusion, the significant events of the film, when viewed through a critical lens, reveal a work deeply engaged with the tensions and possibilities of its moment. Its impact and reception testify to its success in marrying thrilling storytelling with rich thematic inquiry. By weaving together spectacle and subtlety, action and philosophy, the film invites viewers into a reflective space where heroism is not a fixed ideal but a living, contested journey. This layered approach ensures its place not only in popular culture but also in critical discourse, offering fertile ground for ongoing interpretation and appreciation. The making of Captain America: Brave New World stands as a testament to the ingenuity, dedication, and collaborative spirit that defines modern blockbuster filmmaking. Behind the polished spectacle and deeply layered narrative lies a rich world of creative problem-solving, unexpected challenges, and inspiring teamwork. Exploring the production process unveils a tapestry of stories that reveal not only how the film was crafted but also how it became an evolving dialogue between technology, artistry, and human connection. These behind-the-scenes insights enrich our understanding of the film, inviting us to appreciate the complex alchemy that transforms script into screen. From the earliest stages, the filmmakers envisioned a project that balanced respect for the iconic legacy of Captain America with bold innovation. The screenplay went through numerous iterations, with writers working closely alongside the director to ensure that character development and thematic depth were integral to the action. Workshops with the principal cast allowed the creative team to refine dialogue and deepen character motivations, resulting in performances rooted in authenticity. This iterative writing process exemplifies the film's commitment to storytelling that is both accessible and profound. One of the most fascinating aspects of the production was the approach to visual effects. Rather than relying solely on CGI, the filmmakers prioritized a hybrid technique that blended practical effects with digital enhancements. This choice aimed to ground the film's more fantastical elements in tangible reality, enhancing audience immersion. For example, many fight sequences were choreographed with stunt performers on detailed physical sets, later augmented with subtle digital touches to amplify impact without losing the visceral authenticity of real movement. The stunt team's work was particularly notable. Coordinating complex sequences across multiple locations, they designed intricate choreography that balanced spectacle with safety and storytelling. One memorable anecdote involves a high-speed motorcycle chase through urban streets, where the lead stunt rider executed a series of tight turns and jumps on a course modified to mimic the film's futuristic cityscape. This sequence required precision timing and coordination with the camera crew, whose innovative use of drone-mounted rigs captured dynamic perspectives that elevated the scene's intensity. Set design contributed significantly to the film's immersive quality. The production team constructed several elaborate environments that combined practical craftsmanship with modular adaptability. The protagonist's headquarters, a key location throughout the film, was built as a large-scale set featuring authentic textures and interactive elements. Actors could physically engage with their surroundings, enhancing performance realism. The design incorporated symbolic motifs, such as shield emblems integrated into architectural details, subtly reinforcing thematic concerns about legacy and identity. The costume department faced a unique challenge, designing outfits that honored the classic Captain America aesthetic while updating it for a contemporary, high-tech world. Materials scientists and textile experts collaborated to develop fabrics that combined flexibility, durability, and futuristic sheen. The iconic suit underwent multiple prototypes, balancing aesthetics with the actor's mobility and comfort. Special attention was given to the shield's design. It was crafted from lightweight alloys to facilitate stunt work while maintaining visual authenticity. One humorous behind-the-scenes story recounts how several prototype shields, tested for durability, accidentally bounced off set walls and narrowly missed crew members, prompting revised safety protocols. Lighting played a critical role in establishing mood and tone. Cinematographers worked closely with the director to develop a lighting scheme that shifted fluidly between the film's diverse settings, from stark governmental interiors to rain-slicked rooftops. The use of naturalistic light sources augmented by programmable LEDs allowed for nuanced scenes where shadows and highlights became metaphors for the characters' inner struggles. One particularly ambitious sequence involved shooting at dawn inside a glass atrium, capturing the interplay of sunlight and reflection to visually symbolize themes of clarity and obfuscation. Sound design was another arena of innovation. The team employed advanced recording techniques to capture ambient urban noises, blending them with synthesized sounds to create a soundscape that felt both grounded and otherworldly. Foley artists used everyday objects in imaginative ways. For instance, rustling metallic fabrics and crinkling plastics simulated futuristic armor movements, while recordings of unusual instruments provided unique textures for the film's signature sound motifs. The composer incorporated leitmotifs tied to characters and themes, employing a mix of traditional orchestration and electronic elements to reflect the film's fusion of legacy and modernity. Behind the scenes, the cast and crew fostered a collaborative atmosphere that enhanced creativity and morale. The director emphasized open communication, encouraging input from all departments. This approach led to organic moments captured on set, such as spontaneous improvised dialogue that enriched scenes. The actors often rehearsed in character during breaks, deepening their understanding and chemistry. One anecdote tells of a late-night table read where an unplanned change to a key line elicited genuine laughter and emotional resonance, prompting the director to incorporate it into the final cut. The production encountered several logistical challenges, including coordinating shoots across multiple countries. Weather disruptions and permit delays required adaptive scheduling and contingency planning. At one point, a critical outdoor scene had to be relocated last minute due to unexpected construction, leading the art department to transform an indoor soundstage with painstaking detail to replicate the intended setting. This swift response preserved continuity and maintained production momentum, showcasing the team's resourcefulness. Technological advancements also played a vital role. The film utilized cutting-edge virtual production techniques, combining LED volume stages with real-time rendering to create immersive environments visible to actors during filming. This innovation facilitated naturalistic performances and streamlined post-production workflows. The integration of practical and digital effects was seamless, demonstrating how technology can serve storytelling rather than overshadow it. Marketing efforts leveraged the film's themes and production stories to build anticipation. Teaser campaigns featured behind-the-scenes glimpses, highlighting the craftsmanship and teamwork involved. Interactive experiences, such as augmented reality apps, allowed fans to explore digital recreations of iconic sets and try on virtual versions of the Captain America suit. These initiatives expanded engagement beyond traditional trailers, creating a multimedia narrative ecosystem. Trivia enthusiasts might find it intriguing that several subtle visual references were embedded throughout the film, nodding to earlier entries in the franchise and the broader cinematic universe. For example, a worn comic book found in a character's apartment features cover art from the original Captain America comics, while background posters in certain scenes pay homage to historical moments from the hero's past. These details enrich the film's world-building and reward attentive viewers. Ultimately, the making of Captain America, Brave New World was a monumental collaborative effort, blending artistry, technology, and human spirit. The strange and fascinating moments, from improvised scene adaptations and technological firsts to quirky actor rituals and unexpected weather interventions, reveal how the filmmaking process is as dynamic and unpredictable as the stories it produces. These behind-the-scenes narratives deepen our appreciation, reminding us that every frame is the result of countless creative decisions, shared passions, and moments of serendipity that together forge cinematic magic. The world of Captain America, Brave New World unfolds as much through its settings and cinematic language as through its characters and plot, each frame a carefully crafted canvas where place and perspective intertwine to deepen the story's emotional and thematic resonance. The film's physical and visual environments are not mere backdrops but active participants in the narrative, shaping mood, tone, and meaning in subtle and powerful ways. To explore these settings and cinematic elements is to uncover the artistry behind the spectacle, the ways in which light, color, space, and composition become storytellers in their own right. From the very first scene, the film immerses us in a cityscape that is both familiar and hauntingly new. The metropolis is a sprawling mosaic of gleaming skyscrapers, shadowed alleys, and bustling streets, yet there is an undercurrent of tension woven into its architectural fabric. The production designers crafted this urban environment by blending real-world locations across several continents with digitally enhanced imagery, resulting in a composite city that reflects the film's thematic dualities: progress and decay, hope and disillusionment, tradition and disruption. This layered setting embodies the film's exploration of a world at a crossroads, where old certainties crumble beneath the weight of emerging challenges. One of the film's signature locations is the protagonist's headquarters, a sleek, high-tech facility nestled within the city's core. This space is a marvel of design, combining minimalist modernity with symbolic elements that echo the character's legacy. Glass walls flood the interiors with light, creating an atmosphere of transparency and openness, yet the reflective surfaces also suggest self-examination and multiplicity. The headquarters is more than a command center. It is a physical manifestation of the hero's evolving identity, a place where past ideals meet contemporary realities, and where strategy and introspection coexist. Contrasting this modernity are sequences set in more intimate, grounded environments: dimly lit apartments, shadowed corridors, and quiet urban parks. These settings provide emotional counterpoints to the grandeur of public spaces, inviting viewers into moments of vulnerability and personal connection. The production design team paid close attention to textures and details in these scenes: the worn leather of a chair, the scattering of personal artifacts, the play of natural light through window blinds, all contributing to a lived-in authenticity that grounds the film's sweeping narrative in human experience. The film's cinematography is a masterclass in mood and tone, using light and composition to evoke psychological states and thematic concerns. The director of photography employs a dynamic palette, shifting between cool blues and grays in scenes of tension and uncertainty, and warmer golds and reds in moments of hope and revelation. This chromatic strategy subtly guides viewers' emotional responses, underscoring the narrative's oscillation between darkness and light. The interplay of shadows and illumination is particularly striking, with chiaroscuro effects emphasizing the dualities that run through the story: trust and suspicion, strength and fragility, clarity and ambiguity. Camera movement is equally nuanced, serving both narrative and emotional purposes. Fluid tracking shots navigate the sprawling cityscape and action sequences, immersing viewers in the kinetic energy of the plot. In contrast, handheld and close-up shots convey intimacy and immediacy, capturing the subtleties of character expression and interaction. One memorable sequence employs a combination of aerial drone footage and steady close-ups to juxtapose the protagonist's isolation against the vastness of the urban environment, visually articulating themes of loneliness amidst crowds. Framing and composition are used with deliberate symbolism. Repeated visual motifs, doorways, windows, reflective surfaces, frame characters in ways that highlight their internal conflicts and relationships. For instance, scenes where the protagonist is silhouetted against a window suggest both entrapment and possibility, reinforcing his struggle between legacy and self-determination. The use of negative space often isolates figures within the frame, conveying emotional distance or impending change. The film's color grading and lighting design work in tandem to craft its distinctive atmosphere. Night scenes, suffused with neon glows and rain-slick surfaces, evoke a noir sensibility that enhances the story's moral complexity and urban tension. Daytime sequences employ natural light filtered through architectural structures, casting geometric shadows that add visual rhythm and symbolic weight. Practical lighting on set, lamps, streetlights, digital screens, anchors scenes in realism while contributing to their emotional tone. Visual effects integrate seamlessly with live-action footage, extending and enhancing settings without overpowering them. Cityscapes are digitally expanded to suggest a metropolis both immense and claustrophobic, while subtle augmentations, glowing interfaces, holographic displays, embed the story in a plausible near future. These effects serve narrative and thematic functions, illustrating the tension between technological advancement and human values. Sound design complements the visual elements, creating an immersive sensory environment. Ambient city noises, distant sirens, footsteps, murmured conversations, blend with a carefully crafted score to evoke mood and anticipation. Moments of silence are strategically placed, allowing tension to build or reflection to deepen. The auditory landscape interacts with the visual to create a holistic atmosphere that envelopes the viewer. Set decoration and prop choices further enrich the film's visual storytelling. Objects within scenes, photographs, medals, technological gadgets, carry symbolic significance, connecting personal histories to larger themes. The meticulous attention to detail in these elements reflects the film's layered narrative and character depth, rewarding attentive viewers with subtle clues and emotional texture. The interplay of scale and intimacy is a notable cinematic strategy. Wide establishing shots situate the story within a vast, interconnected world, while tight, intimate framing brings us close to individual experiences. This oscillation mirrors the protagonist's own journey, from public icon to introspective leader, and underscores the film's exploration of personal and societal transformation. The use of weather and natural elements also shapes the film's tone. Rain, mist, and changing light conditions are employed not merely for aesthetic effect but as metaphors for cleansing, uncertainty, and renewal. One sequence, set during a sudden storm, uses the elements to heighten emotional intensity and visual drama, symbolizing a moment of upheaval and catharsis. Editing choices play a crucial role in how settings and cinematography convey mood. Transitions between scenes use visual motifs, flickering lights, reflections, architectural lines, to create coherence and thematic resonance. The pacing varies to reflect narrative tension. Rapid cuts during action sequences versus lingering takes in moments of contemplation, allowing space for mood to settle. In sum, the film's settings and cinematic elements are integral to its storytelling, transforming spaces and visuals into emotional and thematic signifiers. They create a rich, immersive world where legacy and innovation, isolation and connection, light and shadow converge. Through masterful design and cinematography, the film invites viewers not only to witness a story but to inhabit its atmosphere, to feel the weight of history, the pulse of the city, and the intimate struggles of its characters. This artistry elevates the narrative, making it a sensory journey as much as a heroic saga, and ensuring its place as a vivid, resonant chapter in the cinematic landscape. The making of Captain America, Brave New World was an odyssey in itself, a complex tapestry woven not only from script and camera but from the vibrant interactions, unexpected moments, and shared dedication that filled the sets day after day. Behind the grand spectacle and polished sequences lies a treasure trove of stories, of camaraderie, creative improvisation, and resilience, that offer a glimpse into the human heart of filmmaking. These behind-the-scenes insights reveal the challenges faced, the joyful breakthroughs, and the surprising serendipities that shaped the film's final form. From the outset, the atmosphere on set was one of intense focus tempered by a light-hearted spirit. The director fostered a collaborative environment, encouraging cast and crew to contribute ideas and embrace spontaneity. This openness led to moments where scripted scenes blossomed into richer expressions through improvisation and genuine interaction. One memorable instance involved a tense negotiation scene that gained additional emotional weight when the lead actor and his co-star spontaneously infused their exchange with subtle gestures and ad-libs, capturing a nuance that resonated beyond the written page. The chemistry among the main cast was palpable, often spilling beyond the camera into genuine friendships. Early rehearsals included team-building exercises designed to forge trust and mutual understanding, an effort that paid dividends during complex action sequences requiring precise coordination. Cast members recount shared moments of levity, impromptu dance-offs during breaks, spirited debates over favorite comic book arcs, and late-night storytelling sessions that deepened their bonds. These interactions fostered a sense of family, creating a supportive atmosphere that sustained the demanding production schedule. Filming presented numerous challenges, from the technical to the environmental. Weather proved a recurring variable, with key outdoor scenes threatened by unexpected storms. Rather than delaying, the crew adapted creatively. One rain-soaked shoot was transformed into a dramatic atmospheric sequence that heightened tension and visual drama. The director praised the adaptability of the team, noting how these moments of unpredictability became opportunities to infuse the film with authenticity and emotional texture. Logistical complexity was another hurdle. Coordinating scenes across multiple locations, ranging from sprawling city sets to intimate interiors, required meticulous planning. The production team employed advanced scheduling software and a network of local coordinators to manage resources and personnel. Yet even with careful organization, last-minute changes were inevitable. On one occasion, a critical set piece suffered damage days before shooting, prompting a rapid redesign and construction effort that tested the crew's resourcefulness and commitment. The incident became a rallying point, galvanizing the team and underscoring the collaborative spirit vital to the film's completion. The stunt department deserves special mention for its blend of daring and precision. Choreographing the film's complex action sequences involved months of preparation, combining martial arts expertise with cinematic storytelling. A standout anecdote recounts a sequence involving a rooftop chase where a stunt performer executed a near-impossible leap between buildings, captured in a single take that electrified the set. Safety protocols were rigorous, yet the adrenaline and skill on display reminded everyone of the visceral physicality that underpins the film's thrilling moments. Technology also played a fascinating role in shaping production experiences. The use of virtual production techniques, LED volume stages projecting real-time digital environments, allowed actors to interact with immersive settings, enhancing performance authenticity. This technology, relatively novel in large-scale productions, required the crew to adapt traditional filming methods. Technical staff share stories of troubleshooting and experimentation, as well as moments when the technology enabled spontaneous creative choices that enriched scenes. The integration of virtual and practical elements was seamless but demanded constant communication and innovation. Costume fittings and makeup sessions were lively, often turning into playful celebrations of the characters' personas. The lead actor's suit, with its intricate design and advanced materials, required multiple adjustments to ensure comfort and mobility. The costume team recalls humorous moments involving quick repairs and adaptations on set, such as improvising patches after stunt sequences caused minor wear. Makeup artists develop techniques to subtly enhance expressions under intense lighting, capturing the nuances of emotional states. These behind-the-scenes rituals were crucial to maintaining the illusion of character while fostering a sense of artistry and care. The sound department faced its own unique challenges, especially in capturing clear dialogue amid noisy action sequences and complex urban environments. Innovative microphone placements and post-production techniques ensured audio clarity without compromising realism. An amusing story involves the use of a particularly sensitive microphone that accidentally picked up a crew member's offhand comment during a tense scene, leading to a retake and good-natured teasing. Director and crew relations were marked by mutual respect and humor. The director's open-door policy encouraged input across departments, fostering a culture where creative ideas flourished. Assistant directors facilitated seamless communication, and the production manager skillfully balanced logistical demands with creative priorities. On set, moments of tension gave way to laughter, often sparked by playful pranks or shared meals. This human dimension of filmmaking is often invisible in the final product, yet it is the glue that holds such a massive enterprise together. Editing and post-production teams began their work concurrently with filming, enabling a dynamic exchange of feedback that shaped ongoing shoots. Early cuts revealed narrative pacing issues that prompted adjustments in shooting schedules and scene coverage. Visual effects supervisors worked closely with editors to ensure seamless integration of digital elements, sharing stories of late-night sessions that pushed the boundaries of what was technically feasible. These collaborative efforts highlight the iterative nature of filmmaking, a constant dialogue between vision and execution. Music scoring sessions also added a rich layer to the production's tapestry. The composer and orchestra recorded the soundtrack in a historic concert hall, a setting that inspired emotive performances. Musicians recount moments when the score took unexpected turns, guided by spontaneous gestures from the conductor and feedback from the director. The resulting soundtrack became a living entity, evolving alongside the film's narrative and enhancing its emotional impact. Fan engagement during production was unprecedented. The marketing team orchestrated social media campaigns that included virtual set tours, cast Q&A sessions, and sneak peeks of concept art. This transparency fostered a community of enthusiasts who felt connected to the film's journey from inception to release. Stories from fan events reveal how cast members embraced their roles as ambassadors, sharing anecdotes and insights that deepened public appreciation. In reflecting on these behind-the-scenes experiences, what emerges is a portrait of filmmaking as a profoundly human endeavor, a blend of artistry, technology, collaboration, and resilience. The strange challenges and joyful surprises that marked production did more than shape the film. They forged bonds and inspired creativity that infused every frame. Understanding this hidden world enriches our viewing, reminding us that the magic of cinema arises not only from storytelling but from the shared passion and ingenuity of all who bring a film to life. The film unfolds as a rich meditation on themes that ripple beneath its surface narrative, crafting a layered exploration of identity, legacy, power, and transformation. These themes are not simply woven into the plot but embodied by characters, symbolized through visual motifs, and echoed in the film's tone and atmosphere. To delve deeply into these thematic currents is to recognize how the story operates on multiple levels, both as a thrilling adventure and a thoughtful reflection on the complexities of heroism and humanity in a shifting world. At the core is the theme of legacy, the weight of history and the challenge of inheriting ideals that must be redefined for a new era. The protagonist embodies this tension, stepping into a mantle charged with symbolic significance yet uncertain about how to honor the past while forging his own path. This conflict is evident in his interactions with other characters, who themselves represent various responses to heritage, some clinging to tradition, others advocating radical change. The narrative reveals how legacy is neither static nor monolithic but a dynamic process of interpretation and reinvention. Symbolically, this theme is embodied in the shield, an object both literal and metaphorical. It represents protection, justice, and unity but also carries the burden of expectation and history. Its recurring presence in scenes serves as a reminder that identity is forged through the interplay of past and present. Power, another central theme, is portrayed in its multifaceted nature: political, physical, ideological, and personal. The film challenges simplistic notions of power as domination, exploring instead its relational and contested dimensions. The protagonist's journey reveals power as responsibility and vulnerability, as something to be wielded with wisdom and humility. Conversely, the antagonist's vision offers a contrasting understanding, one where power is a tool for radical upheaval, revealing how different ideologies conceive of authority and change. This ideological clash animates the narrative and provokes reflection on the ethical implications of power. Cinematic symbolism reinforces this theme, with light and shadow used to depict moral ambiguity, and spatial dynamics in action scenes highlighting struggles for control and agency. Identity, both individual and collective, is intricately examined throughout the film. Characters grapple with questions of selfhood amid external pressures and internal conflicts. The protagonist's evolving sense of self illustrates the fluidity of identity, shaped by memory, choice, and context. Supporting characters embody diverse facets of identity, reflecting intersections of culture, experience, and ideology. The film's nonlinear narrative structure mirrors this thematic exploration, weaving past and present, reality and perception, into a mosaic that resists easy categorization. Symbolism related to mirrors and reflections underscores these ideas, visually representing fragmented and multifaceted selves. Transformation emerges as a motif linked to growth, crisis, and renewal. The narrative trajectory follows characters through moments of rupture that challenge their beliefs and compel change. These transformative experiences are depicted not only through plot developments but also through visual metaphors: water as a symbol of cleansing and flux, doors as thresholds between old and new, and light breaking through darkness signaling hope and revelation. Such imagery enriches the story's emotional texture and thematic depth. Themes of trust and betrayal permeate interpersonal dynamics, underscoring the fragile foundations of alliances and the high stakes of loyalty. The betrayal within the protagonist's circle serves as a narrative fulcrum, forcing characters to confront the complexities of human motivation and the costs of deception. This theme resonates with broader social concerns about reliability, truth, and community, adding contemporary relevance. The film also probes the tension between public and private selves, exploring how characters navigate the demands of their roles versus their personal desires and vulnerabilities. Scenes that reveal intimate moments, quiet conversations, moments of doubt, contrast with public displays of strength and leadership, highlighting the multifaceted nature of heroism. This thematic strand invites empathy and complicates traditional heroic archetypes. Symbolism in the film is both abundant and subtle, enriching the narrative without overwhelming it. The shield, beyond its legacy, acts as a visual motif linking characters and themes, appearing in varied contexts that shift its meaning. Mirrors and reflections appear frequently, suggesting questions of perception, identity, and truth. Doors and thresholds symbolize transition and choice, often marking pivotal moments of decision or revelation. Water imagery recurs, its dual nature reflecting turmoil and renewal. Light and shadow interplay throughout, reinforcing thematic contrasts and emotional states. Color symbolism subtly enhances mood and theme. The film employs a palette that shifts between cool, muted tones in scenes of conflict and uncertainty, and warmer hues in moments of connection and hope. This chromatic rhythm guides emotional engagement and underscores narrative shifts. These themes and symbols are not isolated. They interweave with plot and character arcs to create a cohesive, resonant whole. The protagonist's struggles with legacy and identity are mirrored in the story's ideological conflicts and symbolic imagery. Supporting characters' arcs reflect facets of the central themes, enriching the narrative mosaic. The film's aesthetic choices, cinematography, color, lighting, work in concert with these elements to evoke mood and deepen meaning. In essence, the film invites viewers to engage not only with an exciting story but with a meditation on the complexities of selfhood, power, and change. Its thematic richness and symbolic language offer layers of interpretation, encouraging reflection on what it means to carry a legacy forward in an uncertain world. Through this intricate interplay of narrative and image, the film achieves emotional resonance and intellectual depth, making it a compelling work that lingers beyond the screen. The creation of this film stands as a compelling testament to the power of meticulous craftsmanship in modern cinema, where every frame, every sound, and every cut is orchestrated with deliberate artistry to immerse audiences fully into its world. The filmmaking techniques employed in this production are as integral to its storytelling as the script itself, shaping the atmosphere, emotional texture, and narrative rhythm in profound ways. Exploring these technical elements reveals how the filmmakers translated vision into experience, how sound, editing, and camera work coalesce to create a cinematic journey both thrilling and intimate. One of the foremost techniques that define the film's visual language is its dynamic cinematography. The director of photography crafted a palette of movement and stillness, light and shadow, that captures the narrative's emotional and thematic contours. Fluid camera movements, tracking shots, crane sweeps, and steady gimbals pull viewers into the kinetic energy of action sequences, evoking the adrenaline and urgency that drive the story forward. These are balanced by more static, contemplative frames that linger on character expressions and details, inviting reflection and intimacy. This duality in camera work mirrors the film's oscillation between grand spectacle and personal drama, ensuring that no moment feels purely functional but always charged with meaning. Lighting design plays a pivotal role in shaping the film's mood. The interplay of naturalistic light and stylized illumination creates a chiaroscuro effect, emphasizing contrasts that echo the story's moral and emotional tensions. Scenes set in urban environments are often suffused with cool, diffuse light, soft blues and grays that evoke ambiguity and unease, while warmer tones illuminate moments of connection and revelation. The use of shadow is particularly notable. It is deployed not merely to conceal but to symbolize internal conflict and ambiguity. Strategic lighting changes subtly guide the viewer's emotional response, underscoring moments of hope, danger, or doubt. The film's color grading further enhances its atmosphere. The palette shifts in tandem with narrative developments. Muted and desaturated tones in scenes of conflict give way to richer, more saturated colors during moments of triumph or transformation. This chromatic storytelling deepens immersion and subtly cues emotional shifts, creating a visual rhythm that parallels the unfolding drama. Sound design emerges as a masterful component of the film's immersive power. The auditory landscape is crafted with a meticulous ear for detail, blending ambient sounds, dialogue, music, and effects into a cohesive whole that enhances narrative tension and emotional nuance. Urban soundscapes, distant sirens, footsteps, murmurs, layer beneath dialogue, situating scenes within a living world. These ambient noises are not mere background but active elements that build texture and realism. The film's score deftly marries orchestral grandeur with electronic motifs, reflecting its thematic fusion of tradition and innovation. Leitmotifs associated with characters and ideas recur throughout, binding narrative threads and deepening emotional resonance. Moments of silence punctuate the score strategically. Editing shapes the film's pace and narrative coherence, skillfully managing a complex, sometimes non-linear storyline. The editors balance rapid cuts in action sequences with longer takes in quieter moments, creating a dynamic rhythm that sustains engagement while allowing emotional beats to resonate. Transitions between scenes employ visual and auditory motifs, such as the recurring image of the shield or a distinctive sound cue, to weave disparate narrative threads into a unified tapestry. Cross-cutting is used effectively to build suspense and parallel thematic developments, juxtaposing characters' actions and emotions across different settings. The film's nonlinear elements, flashbacks, dreamlike sequences, are integrated with clarity, employing visual cues like color shifts or camera filters to orient the viewer. This editorial precision ensures that the narrative complexity enhances rather than confuses the storytelling. Camera techniques such as close-ups and extreme close-ups play a vital role in conveying character psychology. These shots reveal micro-expressions and subtle shifts in emotion, drawing the viewer into the character's internal worlds. Conversely, wide shots establish spatial relationships and thematic scale, situating individuals within broader environments that reflect social and ideological contexts. The film also employs innovative camera rigs and technologies. 4 high-speed chase scenes, miniature drones equipped with stabilized cameras capture thrilling aerial perspectives, adding dynamism and immediacy. In hand-to-hand combat, gyro-stabilized rigs follow the fighters with fluid precision, immersing the audience in the visceral impact of blows and movement. These technologies expand visual storytelling possibilities while maintaining coherence and clarity. Practical effects remain a cornerstone of the film's tactile realism. Stunt coordination and choreography emphasize authenticity, with real actors and stunt performers executing complex sequences on detailed sets. Practical explosions, breakaway props, and physical rigs interact seamlessly with CGI enhancements, preserving tangible textures that digital effects alone cannot replicate. This blend enriches sensory engagement, grounding the spectacle in palpable reality. Lighting rigs are employed innovatively to simulate environmental conditions. For example, scenes portraying dawn or dusk use programmable LED panels that mimic shifting natural light, allowing controlled yet naturalistic illumination. This technique enables subtle emotional cues through lighting without reliance on post-production adjustments. The production also incorporated virtual production methods, notably LED volume stages projecting real-time digital backgrounds. This technology allowed actors to perform within immersive environments that reacted dynamically to camera movement, enhancing performance authenticity and reducing the need for green screens. The seamless integration of these virtual sets with physical elements exemplifies the film's blend of cutting-edge technology and traditional craftsmanship. Sound mixing in post-production involved multi-layered spatial audio design, creating a three-dimensional auditory experience in theaters equipped with advanced systems. Sounds shift naturally according to on-screen action and camera perspective, enveloping audiences and heightening immersion. Dialogue clarity was prioritized even amid dense soundscapes, ensuring narrative comprehension. The film's visual effects team worked closely with editors and cinematographers to ensure consistency and narrative coherence. CGI elements, ranging from digitally enhanced cityscapes to subtle environmental augmentations, were designed to support rather than overshadow performances. This restrained use of effects preserves emotional immediacy and visual believability. Production design, combined with cinematography and lighting, crafts symbolic imagery that reinforces themes. For instance, recurring shots of the shield, sometimes framed in soft focus, sometimes starkly lit, serve as visual metaphors for protection, identity, and burden. Architectural motifs in sets and locations echo themes of confinement and freedom, while reflective surfaces underscore questions of self-perception. The film's use of editing rhythms parallels emotional arcs, with accelerated cuts during moments of tension and prolonged takes in scenes of introspection. These choices modulate audience engagement, allowing narrative complexity to unfold organically without overwhelming viewers in the realm of sound. The film experiments with motif layering, combining character-specific musical themes with ambient sounds and effects to create sonic signatures that evolve with narrative progression. This auditory layering enriches storytelling by subtly signaling character states and thematic shifts. In sum, the filmmaking techniques in this film are a masterful interplay of visual, auditory, and editorial craftsmanship. Camera work immerses, lighting evokes, editing shapes narrative flow, and sound deepens emotional impact. Together, these elements construct an atmosphere that is at once exhilarating and intimate, guiding viewers through a richly textured world. This sophisticated synthesis of technique and artistry not only enhances the cinematic experience but also amplifies the film's themes and emotional resonance, securing its place as a landmark achievement in contemporary storytelling. The story of Captain America, Brave New World is not solely written in its script or painted in its visuals. It is equally shaped by the people who brought it to life, the cast whose performances breathed soul into the characters, the interviews where they shared glimpses of their craft and insight, and the audience whose reactions and reflections completed the cinematic dialogue. To explore this vibrant ecosystem is to appreciate the intricate dance between creation and reception, how the actors' interpretations intertwine with public perception to give the film its living, breathing impact. At the film's center stands the actor embodying the new Captain America, a role demanding a rare blend of physicality, emotional depth, and symbolic weight. In interviews, he speaks candidly about the daunting legacy he inherits, describing the process of internalizing not only the character's heroic ideals but also his vulnerabilities and doubts. He reveals a rigorous preparation regimen that extended beyond physical training to include psychological study and immersive character workshops. His approach was to inhabit the role as a living person, not a mere emblem, emphasizing nuance and humanity. He recounts moments on set where the character's journey resonated personally, finding parallels between the hero's struggles with legacy and his own experiences in the public eye. These reflections offer a window into the actor's dedication and the emotional authenticity that permeates his performance. His chemistry with the supporting cast, he notes, was forged through months of rehearsal and shared moments beyond the camera, creating a trust that translated into believable on-screen relationships. Supporting actors bring a rich tapestry of performances that expand the film's emotional and thematic range. One standout is the actor portraying a key ally whose own arc challenges and complements the protagonist's path. Interviews reveal the care taken to explore this character's backstory and motivations, aiming to avoid clichés and bring complexity to a role that could have easily been overshadowed. The actor highlights the collaborative spirit on set, recounting scenes where improvisation deepened the relationship between characters, adding layers of tension and tenderness. The antagonist's portrayer offers insights into crafting a villain who is neither one-dimensional nor purely malevolent but driven by conviction and tragedy. In candid discussions, he describes the challenge of humanizing a figure positioned as the hero's foil, seeking to evoke empathy without diminishing menace. His performance balances charisma and menace, underscored by careful physicality and vocal modulation that reflect the character's internal conflicts and grand designs. The actor credits the director's guidance and the nuanced script for enabling a layered portrayal that invites audiences to question simplistic notions of good and evil. The ensemble cast, including veterans and newcomers, shares stories of camaraderie and creative exchange. Cast members describe a production atmosphere that encouraged mutual support and exploration, fostering an environment where each performance could flourish. Anecdotes abound of shared meals, rehearsals that turned into improvisational workshops, and moments of spontaneous humor that lightened the intense demands of shooting. This spirit of collaboration is palpable on screen, where character interactions feel lived in and authentic. Interviews with the director illuminate the vision guiding the cast's performances and the film's tone. He discusses his intention to balance blockbuster spectacle with intimate storytelling, emphasizing character-driven narratives amid grand themes. The director's approach to casting, seeking actors capable of embodying complexity and emotional truth, shaped the film's ensemble dynamic. He reflects on the challenges of blending diverse acting styles and ensuring cohesion while respecting individual artistry. Audience reactions have been equally vital to the film's life beyond production. Early screenings elicited a spectrum of responses, with many praising the film's thoughtful characterizations and thematic ambition alongside its thrilling action. Fan forums and social media buzz highlighted the resonance of the new Captain America's journey, with viewers connecting deeply to his struggles with identity and legacy. Many appreciated the film's willingness to embrace moral ambiguity and emotional nuance, seeing it as a maturation of the superhero genre. Critics' reviews often echoed these sentiments, noting the strong performances and the balance of spectacle and substance. Particular acclaim focused on the lead actor's portrayal and the antagonist's complexity, which elevated the film beyond conventional genre fare. Some critiques addressed pacing and narrative density, reflecting the challenges of weaving an ambitious thematic tapestry within a blockbuster format. These dialogues contributed to a rich discourse, inviting viewers to engage thoughtfully with the film's layers. Audience engagement extended to organized fan events, where cast members participated in panels and Q&A sessions. These forums offered fans a chance to hear firsthand about the actors' experiences and interpretations, deepening appreciation and connection. Stories shared in these settings, about improvisational moments, favorite scenes, and personal reflections, created a communal atmosphere celebrating both the film and its impact. Social media platforms buzzed with fan theories, artistic tributes, and discussions about the film's themes and characters. These interactions underscored the film's capacity to inspire creativity and reflection, transforming viewers from passive spectators into active participants in its cultural conversation. Memorable moments from the film became cultural touchstones, shared and reshaped in digital spaces that extended its reach and resonance. In interviews, The cast often expressed gratitude for the fans' passionate response, acknowledging the responsibility and honor of inhabiting such iconic roles. They spoke about the challenge of meeting high expectations while bringing fresh perspectives, striving to balance reverence with innovation. This dialogue between creators and audience enriched the film's cultural footprint, fostering a sense of shared journey. Behind the scenes, the cast engaged in workshops exploring the film's themes and historical contexts, deepening their understanding and performance. These sessions included discussions with historians, psychologists, and cultural consultants, emphasizing the film's commitment to authenticity and nuance. Actors found that this preparation informed their portrayals, enabling them to convey layered emotions and motivations with subtlety. The interplay between actor preparation, directorial vision, and audience reception illustrates the film's complex life cycle. Performances are not static but evolve through rehearsal, filming, editing, and finally viewing, where audiences bring their own experiences and interpretations. This dynamic exchange shapes the film's meaning and legacy, making it a living text subject to ongoing dialogue. In conclusion, the film's cast and the conversations surrounding it form an essential part of its storytelling fabric. The actors' commitment to nuanced portrayals, their candid insights, and the vibrant audience engagement coalesce to create a multifaceted experience. This interplay enriches the narrative, deepens emotional impact, and fosters a cultural conversation that extends far beyond the theater. Through these human connections, between actors, creators, and viewers, the film transcends its medium, becoming a shared story of legacy, identity, and the enduring power of heroism. The journey we've embarked on together through the sprawling narrative of Captain America, Brave New World brings us to a contemplative resting point, a moment to reflect on the intricate tapestry we've unraveled, the themes and cinematic craft explored, the characters who walked with us, and the world that enveloped them. This conclusion is not merely an ending but an invitation to hold these insights in mind, to revisit the film with fresh eyes, and to continue the conversation beyond this space. From the very start, we saw how the film deftly balances legacy and innovation, placing a new hero at the crossroads of history and future. The protagonist's struggle to inhabit the mantle of Captain America illuminated the human side of heroism, the doubts, vulnerabilities, and moral quandaries that complicate the shield's symbolic clarity. His journey is emblematic of a broader societal reckoning, how to carry forward cherished ideals in a world that has grown more complex and fractured.